Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone, and thank you for your patience. Um, Welcome to the September Stitch and Bitch. I'm so excited to see everyone. Let's go around and do introductions.
Do you want to go
the three of us? Who does it first?
Hi, I'm Bree. You're here on my channel, and that's awesome. I do a lot of science fiction and fantasy reading, and I craft. So I have some yarn here. And I'm excited to talk to everyone. Rachel, you want to go next?
Yep, I'm Rachel. My channel is Colonati, and I usually talk about lots of science fiction and fantasy, and here very soon, a lot of romance because I'm going on a binge.
I love it. Di?
Hi, I'm Diana. My channel is Bookish Di, and I also read a lot of science fiction and fantasy, but also a lot of romance and nonfiction.
Awesome. So just as a forewarning, at some point I might turn off my mic and my camera. I promise I'm not abandoning everyone on the stream. There is a very small human here who might need me. And that is just the easiest way to do things, I think. So if I disappear, it's okay. The live stream will continue on. You just might have a black box instead of my face where I am. Rachel and Di will obviously still be here.
Yep.
So what is everyone working on today?
Still working on the book blanket. This is just very slow going because I'm working on it in fits and starts.
Nice. Now this is the one for which year?
2020. I decided not to try anything for this year because I knew it was going to take me a long time to finish the 2021. So.
And Rachel, what loveliness are you working on?
I am trying to figure out how to put a sleeve in.
Ooh.
Which I probably should not do this while I'm in the middle of a live show, but I was like, it can't be that hard. All I have to do is pin it.
Are you putting a sleeve in for like a fabric shirt?
Yes. It's kind of hard to show it because it's a wrap top, so it's got these extremely long ties on it, but that's most of the body. And it's all done with these French seams, which is nice, but I haven't completely wrapped my head around how to do French seams. And now apparently I gotta do it for an armhole.
Do you have your top center and your bottom seam marked?
I have all the seams, I have all the notches, I've got the basting line around the top for, I guess, easing it in. So
okay, you can do this. I believe in you.
It's gonna take a lot of probably too much concentration for doing this, but I'm so close to being done with this. If I can get the sleeves done this afternoon, then all I have to do is hemming and it's done. And this project has been sitting in my office, like, just cut out the pieces, just start it for like 2 months now. Yeah.
Nice. I am starting work on a mystery gnome. So Imagine Landscape is doing a mystery knit along for a gnome. And my D&D character at the campaign I am playing right now is a gnome named Bodley, so I figured I would make him.
Oh, cute.
I don't know what he will look like yet, so we will see. If I don't like him for Bodley, it will be one of his many siblings, the number of which changes every time he mentions it. So.
Fun.
Yeah. What's everybody been up to? What are you reading? I mean, clearly Rachel's reading a lot of romance, which is lovely.
I've already got this backwards. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. You think I would know because I've stared at so many shirts in my life, but no. Reading. I've had this like backlog of like various romance novels to get to, and I just decided to read all of them right now. Like I checked out like 10 different things from the library. So
Yeah.
I'm inundated. And KJ Charles is where it at. Like I need KJ Charles to like publish one book per month.
Anything else? Di, what's on your list?
Right now, I'm currently making my way through my magical readathon TBR. I don't think I'm going to finish the initial books I had set out with, but I'm trying to finish Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia today.
How is that? I just got my copy from the library.
I'm enjoying it so far. It's very different, which is par for the course for Moreno Garcia. Like everything she does is like very different from her previous books. So I'm not super far into it. And it's also interesting for me because in terms of like, because it's set during Mexico's Dirty War, and I'm not actually super familiar with Mexico's Dirty War. I'm more familiar with like the Argentine Dirty War and Chile's Dirty War and like Operation Condor and everything. So it's like, it's very interesting to me. Oh my God, there's a giant fluffy dog outside.
Nice. I love Moreno Garcia. There's just like, I don't know that there's anything that she has written that I have not just really, really enjoyed. Or been at the very
I
least
wasn't a
really
big fan of Prime Meridian. I may be an unpopular opinion on that one.
I also read the newest Sean McGuire book, and it was like, it was one where I gave it a very high rating because it felt very fan servicey in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was very much about the emotional payoff for long-term readers for like Toby and Tybble and them finally getting married, and just like, yes, chaos ensues and there's blood because it's Toby, but like overall it's a very happy book.
Oh, that's nice. I picked up and have been reading The Chosen and the Beautiful, which is Naivo's like Great Gatsby retelling.
How are you liking that one?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, and I say that halfway through. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Parts of it I like. It's incredibly low fantasy. So if you're going in looking for Great Gatsby plus magic, you're probably not going to get that. But I don't know. You can tell that she's like thought about how she wants to do this world quite a lot. I'm just not entirely sure that it jives with what I would like to see. But I also didn't realize, I don't know how I didn't realize this. I didn't realize it was a Great Gatsby retelling until I picked it up and like was reading it. I think it, because I picked it up, but kind of on a whim, and it hadn't been on my radar. So, you know, take what I say with a grain of salt, clearly.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've read Gatsby, but I remember really liking it. But it might have also been, I'm pretty sure we read it in high school right after The Sun Also Rises, which I absolutely hated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
That book put me off of Hemingway. I'm just like, I hate this book so much.
I feel very lucky. I've never had any reason to read anything by Hemingway.
So my mom was a study skills teacher at the local high school when I was a kid, and was very into like giving me classic literature at a very young age. So I read For Whom the Bell Tolls at about 10 and very much did not understand it at all. Just fun fact. I don't think you're missing much, Rachel.
Even if it is a work of genius, it's probably not my thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I just...
What, you don't want to hear about how hard it is to be a guy in something about war?
Yeah, no. Especially not right now when all I want is cute, fluffy romance that's extremely queer.
Legit.
Yeah, a very different vibe.
I'm gonna adjust so y'all can see Luke in the background.
Oh, shoot. Did I do this right?
Maybe? I can't see to help.
Oh, yeah.
Joe is reading Witness for the Dead.
I still need to read that.
It's so lovely.
I know. I want to reread The Goblin Emperor first.
It's so worth rereading.
I love
everyone was like, oh, it's fun to reread The Goblin Emperor, but Kelleher isn't a really like a main character. Like, you don't need to reread The Goblin Emperor. And I'm like, no way. His entire backstory is explained in detail there. And it's not.
Yeah,
really...
and it's been so long since I've read The Goblin Emperor. Like, so long being, it's been like 4 years at least since I've read The Goblin Emperor. So it's definitely one where I want to re-immerse myself in the world.
It's so worth it.
It's also, I will say, I have the old mass market copy, and I'm just like, I shouldn't buy the reissue, but I'm also tempted to buy the reissue.
I'm kind of mad that they didn't match the covers. They like, I love the original cover of The Goblin Emperor. It is such a striking piece of artwork.
And I feel like the new cover, and the reason I would buy the new one is it trade paperback versus mass market.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the new cover and also the cover for Witness for the Dead just feel very like there's nothing super distinctive about them, whereas the original Goblin,
very generic fantasy.
Thank you. I was like, I can't remember the word. But the original cover for The Goblin Emperor is just so striking, and it like tells you so much about like the contents of the book.
Right. Yeah.
When did Goblin Empire come out? Or Emperor come out?
It came out in 2014, and I was looking at my Goodreads.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
I a whole bunch of people on BookTube read it in February of 2015. Because does anybody remember the BookTube Reading Buddies group on Goodreads that did like the themed months, and there was a fantasy February? A whole bunch of people read Goblin Emperor for that, and it was the first ever, basically like readathon that I ever participated in. Before like the big readathons became huge. It's like good times.
Oh my gosh. Baby BookTube SFF.
God, it was 6 years ago. 6.5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. That is before, that would have been before or just before we met in person. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, because
we were at like Mid-American.
Like early summer of 2015. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh. For what it's worth, anybody who's like, do you make lifelong friends on YouTube? I don't know. Clearly.
Yeah. Joe, did you reread the entirety of Goblin Emperor in one day? Because that's what I did. I read it in less than 24 hours. It was so good.
I'm like, because I think Tome Topple is coming up in the next month or so. So I'm trying to like figure out what I want to put on my TBR for that.
I wish somebody would put together a master calendar of all the readathons for the year.
I think someone actually does, or like has one. It's just that Tome Topple's kind of,
some of them travel.
Tome Topple, they announce it pretty close to that time they're actually doing it.
Yeah, and I know Sam has been, from Thoughts on Tomes, has been kind of in a reading slump, so she's said in at least one video that she was holding off announcing when it would be, so that hopefully she would be feeling less slumpy.
Which is, yeah.
I follow a Twitter account. I think it's just like Readathon News or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I get reminded of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I admittedly have been a little extra behind in the last weeks. So
You have very good reason, though.
I'm like, wonder why, Bree.
I don't know. I'm like basically not sleeping, so my days are spent pacing in my house listening to audiobooks. It's been surprisingly reading productive.
Good.
But not very organized.
I need to get back into audiobooks because I picked up one of the new Pokemon games, and like you don't really need sound for that, so I could listen to audiobooks, but I've been listening to podcasts instead.
Which one did you pick up? Which Pokemon game?
Shield.
Okay.
Because GameStop had it used, and I'm like, I'd rather pay a few dollars less for a game.
Fair.
Okay, I think that is probably good enough.
Let's see if this wealth turns out.
I feel like I'm going to end up with a lot of gathers at the top of my sleeve cap, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the way it is or not.
I know that. Did you pull on those basting stitches? Because you can pull on them and then like spread them out into the sleeve.
Yeah. It looks kind of like the fabric is bubbling, but it's not like gathered. Like there's not pleating or anything. So I guess. And I can try to like pull it, like stretch it and ease it in more when I'm actually sewing it.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I've never felt confident doing sleeves. I've done them 3 times, and I've consistently been like, I don't know what I'm doing. So take anything I suggest with a grain of salt. And knowing that sometimes my sleeves look real weird and gathery at the top.
Oh, Bree, you might appreciate this. I finally got a PS5.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It was a whole break. It's on my list. I'm trying not to buy new games now. I'm trying to like I have a few like PS4 to PS5 upgrade, like those free like next gen upgrades. So I'm trying to get through some of my backlist. But yeah, it was a whole ordeal because Sony like did some weird things with the links for we invite you to buy a PS5, and the link that they sent was like in their system is not the correct one. So you had to like use the link that they had sent out the week before.
Gross.
It was a whole ordeal, but it worked out in the end.
I'm doing something that you will like. And I have been thinking about you a lot because of it. My partner and I are playing Kotar.
Nice.
He has played it before. I have not. And he does the battle bits, so I can just do the story bits.
It's coming to Switch, and I think I might get it just because I'm like, I don't like playing computer games I don't like playing video games on my computer. Yeah. And I have Kotar for my Mac, but I think I'm just gonna buy it for the Switch so I can play it that way.
I mean, we were really bummed, or at least I was pretty bummed when I found out that the remaster is coming out first, and that like we literally started, and we were 6 hours in or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's not a remaster; it's a complete remake.
Yeah.
So it's not coming out. My guess is it's not coming out till like 2023.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. But it still felt like, oh man, I just started this. But anyway, we have just finished rescuing Bastila and are on to the next planet.
Okay, important question. Are you playing a dude or a lady?
I'm playing a lady.
Okay. So that means you can romance Karth. If you so
I don't know. Yeah, I could, but I found his like coming on to you language real insulting, and so I kind of was a jerk back because I was like, I don't know if I like you very much right now, friend. Should I have romanced him?
Well, so for me, it's more of that voice actor is also a voice actor in Mass Effect, so I'm like fond of him for that.
Okay.
And like it's so weird because he was in Once Upon a Time as Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was Dr. Hopper / Jiminy. And it's so weird because I'm so used to him as Caden from Mass Effect, where I see people refer to him from Once Upon a Time. I'm like, wait, no, that's like different. What?
That's funny.
I do have PS Plus, so I have access to the PlayStation 5 collection. That was KJ.
I sewed one of my sleeves inside out.
Oh no!
Crack.
You can do it. Just yeah. I'm sorry. Sleeves are a nightmare. Consistently a nightmare.
Okay. Well, at least I know what I did wrong. At least
So
I got one of them right.
So has anyone been watching anything interesting?
Let's see. Oh, we've been watching. Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Binged the entirety of the Chinese drama that Kelsey talked to us about last month. It literally ate my brain for like 2 weeks, guys. Joy of life. I don't know. It's the first time an Asian drama of any kind has ever been interesting to me.
Oh, really?
And now I'm like, oh, but I want more. And the next season probably isn't coming out and for like another year. And I don't know. You can find it on Viki for free. And so I've been knocking around trying to watch some of the other Chinese dramas on there, and it's not the same because Joy of Life, it's like incredibly funny. I was laughing the entire time, but it's also like science fictional, and then there's this like mystery, and maybe there's time travel. And a lot of extremely attractive people. So I watched all 46 episodes of that. And I have not watched that much television in years.
That's a lot of episodes. How long are the episodes? Like 20 minutes?
45 minutes.
You watched how many episodes of a 45-minute show?
In like 2 weeks, guys.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I have been watching Star Trek Voyager, which is not a new watch for me. I will fight you over it being one of the best Star Treks.
I haven't watched it in a very long time, but like that and DS9 were my Treks growing up, so like I'm very fond of it.
Yeah, Voyager admittedly was my Trek growing up, that and Next Gen, and so admittedly I am biased because it's one of those things. It's like with how people say with Doctor Who, your first Doctor is always your favorite Doctor. So I've been doing that, and then we've been watching Midnight Mass. I have 2 more episodes left.
I have not. I'm a weenie when it comes to horror.
What is Midnight Mass?
It's Mike Flanagan's new show. So he's the guy who did The Haunting of Hill House.
And Bly Manor.
And this is very small island town has monsters show up kind of vibe to it, if that's something that you enjoy.
I do know Raoul Coley is in it, and I do love him, but like I said, I'm also a weenie when it comes to horror.
Yeah. I would say more details about why you should or shouldn't watch it, but I know that probably some people will want to watch it in here who have not yet done it. So
I know Kay from Kay Taylor. Kay has been really enjoying it. So she's
I have liked it so far. We, like I said, we have 2 of the 7 episodes left. So
I have been watching Star Wars Visions. I'm like rationing the episodes.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. So I don't know a whole lot about anime, so like I can't like speak to like the different studios or like, the different styles, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I like seeing the variety of styles. So like each one is very visually distinct, which I like, and I'm enjoying how each episode is interpreting Star Wars differently. The first one, The Duel, is like so visually like very interesting. Like I don't think I've seen animation like it before.
The black and white one.
Yeah, but it does have like some color with like the lightsabers and the lasers and stuff.
I did not stay awake for it, but my partner turned it on as I was falling asleep, so I caught about like 5 minutes of it. Sleep has been my priority, obviously. But it looked really interesting, and it felt, that one is very, it felt like much more like watching a samurai movie, right?
Yeah.
And like something about that, I mean, mostly in that samurai movies are very much what inspired Lucas. It felt satisfying in that way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I might try and finish it today. I think I have 3 more episodes left.
Okay.
And then I need to catch up on Ted Lasso. I'm behind.
And then anything as far as movies for folks?
No, I have not had the attention span for movies.
I did watch John Wick, which months ago you guys were like, yeah, you should try watching that.
Did you like it?
I like the general premise because there's something very satisfying about seeing a very dangerous person live up to their reputation. I don't think that Keanu Reeves is a very good actor. I mean, like, the one thing I really enjoyed him in was the first Matrix movie, and it's not like he exactly had to emote in that one, so...
Has anyone seen the Much Ado About Nothing, where he is the bastard stepbrother to the prince?
I have seen it and wondered the entire time why he was cast. In that kind of vague way, like, this just isn't really his thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is not my favorite version of Much Ado About Nothing, but there's something very entertaining about watching him do that role for me. That is one of the ones the roles that I tend to associate him with like the most.
I always think of him as that guy from The Matrix because I was obsessed with The Matrix.
Were you?
Yeah, I was too young to see it because it was R-rated when it came out, and that was like, what, 1999 or something?
Yeah.
Was that or was it early 2000s?
It was either 99 or 2000. It definitely came out before 9/11, but...
Oh, it's true, yeah. So I was like 9 or 10 when it came out.
Yeah.
And my parents watched it and they were like, we really enjoyed that, but you cannot watch it. And then a couple of years later, they rewatched it and were like, we'll let you see it now. Like, they had to vet it first. And I was obsessed. Like, I watched it a bazillion times. I think I bought it on DVD back when buying DVDs was a novelty. That and Remember the Titans. The only other movie I've been obsessed with is about football.
Which is a weird one for you.
I know, right? I think I had a major crush on the actor who plays Sonny in that movie. He's the blonde dude from California. And yeah, anyway, so Matrix, there was like, I think a year of my life where I just rewatched Matrix, and the only music I ever listened to was stuff from like the soundtrack and stuff from the Matrix. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Somewhat related. Speaking of that Much Ado, have you seen the trailer for Denzel Washington for the new Macbeth movie?
No, do I need to?
It looks really cool. Like it's done in black and white. So Denzel Washington is Macbeth and Frances McDormand is Lady Macbeth.
Oh, that's a cast.
Yeah, and like it is very, so they filmed it in black and white in the like it looks more like staging than like a film set. Like it looks, at least based on the trailer, it looks like fairly theatrical, like how you might more reminiscent of how you might see it in a theater, like play theater, not movie theater.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I'd not even heard of this. It looks Really interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I do love the play Macbeth, so I'm very interested to see how this adaptation turns out, because I've heard good things about it. Like it just premiered at the New York Film Festival.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I never even heard of it until you told me, so that's interesting. Macbeth is one that I don't like reading it that much. Like, it's fine, but I have enjoyed adaptations of it a lot.
I have a hard time with reading Shakespeare for the most part. And I think it's just it's very much one of those, you're not supposed to read it.
Yeah. Like, I really enjoy reading Hamlet and Much Ado About Nothing, but I've read them before and I've seen multiple adaptations of them. So it's very much like when I'm reading them again now, I can see it being performed in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't have that experience with most of the others. Yeah.
I can totally understand that. Yeah, Much Ado, but I was obsessed with Much Ado About Nothing in high school. There are still multiple parts of it that I can like recite from memory because I was that weird kid, right? Like the weird theater kid who maybe liked Shakespeare a little too much. Did anybody see? So there's that YouTuber he's just had a really big uptick in subscribership. His handle is FD Signifier. Okay, he does like Black media analysis and breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And he said about Shakespeare, he was like, Shakespeare was kind of the fuckboy of his age, and I love it. I love it so much.
I have heard that before. Maybe I've seen the quote or something.
I don't know. I'll link you because his breakdowns of media are phenomenal.
That would be cool.
Also,
yeah, I want to check that out.
Shakespeare was the fuckboy of his age.
If I don't know if I've wrecked it here before, maybe I have, but there, like back when the whole YouTube adaptations of classic literature was like a big thing, there was this New Zealand company, the Candle Wasters, that did a version of Much Ado called Nothing Much to Do, and they did a very good job with their adaptation. Like it's set in high school, so because it law drama, yeah, I really like that adaptation. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something you can just kind of watch in a day or two.
Okay.
It's a better adaptation than the Lizzie Bennet Diaries was of Pride and Prejudice. I will die on that hill.
I think not only have you wrecked it, I think you've said that specific thing before.
It is like a decade later, and I'm still just so mad about how badly they botched the Lydia arc.
Yeah. Sometimes when it's like just me at home and like no one's here, I fall down these like Jane Austen rabbit holes because there's more than one like college professor who does like YouTube lectures, like actually designed for YouTube, not like college room lectures on well, basically all of the Jane Austens, and it's very fun to hear their like hot takes on Lydia.
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber who's been doing a lot of like classic literature breakdowns, and she has like a whole thing about the Pride and Prejudice details. I'm blanking on her name now.
Is it Eleanor Dashwood?
Yes.
No, she's similar.
Because I've seen those Eleanor Dashwood ones recommended to me.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of hers
worth
too.
Watching
but what's her name? She's a professor.
No, but the professor's a redhead, right? Like a strawberry blonde.
Yes. You know who I'm talking about?
Because that's who I'm talking about. I don't know her channel name offhand.
Oh, it's gonna bother me so much until I
Yeah, my partner came home one day and I was
Octavia Cox.
Yes, Octavia Cox.
Yes.
My partner came home one day and I was like lying in the bath just watching is Mr. Darcy really the part of the 1%? And
Yes.
I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm living my best life. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't reread Austen in a while. I should do that soon. I keep thinking I want to update my Austen books because I still own the ones I have in high school, like the Oxford University Press editions.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I could get pretty versions, but I really like the annotations in the Oxford University Press ones.
I wonder if there's
a both
of the Oxford University Press for like annotations.
Yeah, maybe. I have seen the Penguin Clothbound Classic, so I want to like peek inside them to see like what their footnote or annotation situation is.
Yeah.
I've always liked the Penguin English Library edition paperbacks. They're not annotated, but they're just like very nice, clean reading copies.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of that. They did finally release the Sanderton Collection, which is the unfinished works or whatever. And I was reading those, like the Watsons and Sanderton. I was like, she was so good at setting up like these social situations within like a chapter or two. And it's like all these people get introduced and you want to know what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't with those. But yeah, I was like, I need to reread Pride and Prejudice and probably revisit Sense and Sensibility because I don't think I really got Sense and Sensibility.
The one that I'm interested in revisiting is Mansfield Park because I remember not liking it, but I know I have some friends who are like, no, this Mansfield Park is actually good. And so I'm like interested to reread it like 15 years later to see what I think.
I'm always going to be fond of Northanger Abbey because she's just making fun of like.
Oh yeah, Northanger Abbey is hilarious. It is such a fun book.
Yeah. If anybody is like, if you read Jane Eyre and you were like, gosh, all these stories about governesses going to beautiful places where they fall in love with just like absurd men, you should read Northanger Abbey.
There are a couple of Jane Eyre adaptations coming out. Like there was the Rachel Hawkins one that was like Southern Gothic. It was yeah. And then someone is doing like a Sapphic one.
Ooh. What?
I'm trying to.
I want to know how they're doing that.
It's like the first wife and Jane, and I'm sorry, I'm going through my bookmarks to try and see.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like
fan fiction. Sorry, I'm looking for my bookmarks, and the video of Canada winning gold set to Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On" has been taken down, and I'm so sad about that. It was perfect. It was like Celine Dion wrote that song 15 years in the past just for the moment where Canada wins gold for soccer. Sorry, I'm actually very disappointed about that.
We have a deep abiding love for Celine Dion in my family, which is funny to me, but for I think it was something like 6 years. My older brother has very severe autism, and the only way he would fall asleep was if you put on a Celine album. Like literally like no other album. It didn't matter if it was like some beautiful woman singing. It had to specifically be Celine, to the point where we had like the recordings of her Las Vegas shows and he could say the lines. So I have a love of Celine and also a deep internal conflict over, oh my God, please don't put Celine on.
That's That's fair.
You've had your fill of Celine.
That's fair. So I'm just like very sad because I would watch, like it was a very well put together edit, and I'm very sad that it got taken down. Yeah, I think it's coming out next year. There's also Tasha Suri is doing a retelling of Wuthering Heights, which
I'm interested in that.
Okay, it's called Escaping Mr. Rochester by L.L. McKinney. It is a YA reimagining of Jane Bronte's classic novel that asks what if the real villain of Jane Eyre was actually Mr. Rochester accurate. In this queer romance, Jane Eyre and Bertha Mason, Mr. Rochester's wife, who he's imprisoned within the house for years, must save each other from the horrifying machinations of Mr. Rochester.
I mean, but actually.
Yeah, so it's coming out next year.
Gonna go on the TBR. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm also interested in Tasha Suri's Wuthering Heights retelling because I did not like Wuthering Heights that much.
I also didn't like Wuthering Heights that much.
The best Bronte sister was Anne Bronte.
Hard fact.
Tenant of Wildfell Hall, underrated classic.
Absolutely agree. Joe has been sad that there's no animal cameos. If it
Luke is there. He's just napping.
So it's hard to see.
Hold on. I'm gonna risk the wrath of Leia. I'll be right back. Aw, Soren.
Say hi.
He's a baby.
Oh.
Say no one loves me or ever feeds me. Or ever gives me scratches.
He's so cuddly.
He's so sweet and
He's
soft.
just like a snuggle bug. I wish I was there.
I wish you were here. Come visit me. Oh, Kelsey's in the chat. She says that Esme is here. I'm presuming that means Esme is saying hi. Hello, Esme. I love you.
I got Leia from her chair, which is my chair, but she says it's her chair.
Is she now mad at you?
Yeah. She's like, I was napping.
We needed our cats.
Yeah.
We have a quota to fill.
I know, and we don't have like a MOSFET to like hoard up the kitty time today.
Yeah, no MOSFET, no Tesla.
No Hermes.
No Hermes. Not today.
Hi.
I think Hermes has been settling in, so next month we may get a lot of black cats.
Yeah.
Which will be appropriate.
Oh my god, it will be, won't it?
Yep.
How is it already time for like Halloween?
Leia needs to lose some weight. She's 13 and a half pounds.
Aww.
Wow, your cat is almost 2 of my dogs.
Luke is, I think, close to 12 pounds.
And in fairness, Ava is a tiny, tiny thing.
Yeah. She's like 7.5 or 8 pounds.
Ava's the size of Wally.
Yeah. I actually have never really had no, Dad's cat Gus was kind of he was a long, lanky boy. But like in terms of like a chunky cat, I don't think I've had a cat like Leia before. And now she's trying to push my computer.
Whenever I see Leia, I think of that diagram about like kittens turning like small cute ones and then long ones, and then you get the long or the chunk.
Yeah, it's you go from small
petite, that's it.
To small long, and then you either get big long or big petite, and I have both. Luke is big long and Leia is big petite.
Yeah.
Soren is also a petite. I love you. I'm sorry.
Leia, don't eat my yarn.
Leia has the chubby cheeks. She's just like, ooh.
She does. She has very chubby cheeks.
You're so cute.
But yeah, the vet is like, I want her below 13 pounds, which is kind of fair. So we're cutting back the dry food.
The only thing that wound up working for us is we had to separate, like literally with the door closed, Wally and Soren when they ate, because Wally had has this tendency to like wander off between bites. And Soren's like, she's done now, it's mine. And that was finally the thing that made it so that we could get his weight under control.
So cats get wet food in the morning, and that's when Luke reminds me that he's never been fed before in his entire life, and it's so tragic.
Right.
But he's pushier when it comes to wet food. Like, he'll eat some of his can and then like shove Leia aside and eat from her can, then switch. And then they have dry food available throughout the day that they just kind of snack on when they're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Leia just does a little bit more snacking than her brother.
Yeah, Soren is very like food motivated. He was a stray, and I think that it's like caused him to be kind of a little extra about it.
Yeah.
Because he has never seen a crumb of food that didn't need to immediately go in his stomach.
Well, Luke is, I think, a little bit more food motivated than Leia, weirdly enough. So like when I had the one time I brought Crab home, he was like all over it. He was just like, I have a photo of him just like sitting in the chair next to me, looking at me like, oh, mother, won't you give me some delicious crab? Like, looking super cute. But I'm also like, I've been through this with my dad's cats. I am not creating a monster. And then like when I was with my grandparents in California, he would like beg for a little bit of like my grandma would give him like a little bit of chicken if she was cooking chicken, and because my grandparents like to eat prosciutto on their bagels. So they had left it out. It was like our first week there, and he knocked it on the floor and he started licking it. So like he's much more food motivated than Leia. I think Leia just like enjoys snacking more.
Fair. That's funny.
Oh, also in terms of him being food motivated. So when I was at my grandparents, we had made blueberry muffins and we had left them out overnight, and I'm pretty sure it's Luke. So one of the cats knocked it over and took a little bite out of it.
So when I first got Soren, I was convinced that I had a mouse in my apartment because I kept coming out and there would be like bitten through holes into the loaves of bread, like bitten through the plastic, like one or two like bite holes. And I was like, oh crap. And I had a mouse in my apartment before that. So I was like super hyper vigilant.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that it was a mouse for like probably a month until I found a loaf of bread dragged to his litter box. And I was like, oh, I see what's happening. You're gross.
Yeah. Well, one of my mom's cats is also a carboholic, Dora. She's this little orange cat who is a ball. She's so chubby. And she's like small too, so it like looks more pronounced than it does for Leia. But they have to hide the bread because she will also like chew through plastic to eat the bread.
Yep. Yeah, Soren has figured out how to open cabinets and everything.
We put it in the high cabinets that Dora can't reach.
Our microwave has become the safe spot for food. At any given point, you might think that you're going to go and microwave something from the freezer, and instead you have to spend 5 minutes unloading treats.
Leia's just like knocking over everything. She's just like, you disturbed me from my nap, and now I will cause problems on purpose.
You fiend.
Oh, why? I'll be back in 1 second, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't help but think of you like all last week as we like made some headway and got Bastila. I was like, I need to make sure that I tell Di all about this.
That's very exciting. I finally started playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I kind of hate the combat system so much. I think part of the problem is that I was playing Mass Effect before, and I've been playing as a sniper.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it's like very different because I'm just like, if I had a gun, I could just kill everyone right now. But it's very pretty, and the droid friend is very cute.
That's good.
I do love a good droid friend.
Who doesn't love a good droid friend?
So far in Visions, there have been some good droid friends.
Heather?
Yeah.
That's good. Ugh. I've never done a welt before, which for those of you who don't like knit, is where you create this like ridge, like a puffed ridge by folding the fabric.
Mm.
And that was an adventure. I'm pretty sure it is secretly ugly if you look underneath it, which is where all of the stitches that you pick up to fold it are.
Mm.
Oh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about, oh, did you see, maybe you don't care about this. Did you see that they're doing the Super Mario?
Oh my God. I have
so many feels about the casting for this Mario.
Oh, the casting, like they should have cast Jack Black as Mario. Let's be real.
Right. Okay.
So I had like prior to the casting, I was very like ambivalent. I'm like Mario, whatever. I have no strong feelings about Mario. Like seeing the casting, I'm just like, oh God, I hope this fails. I'm so tired of Chris Pratt.
Okay, I'm tired of Chris Pratt, but I'm very here for the rest of the cast list, and I'm super into the idea of Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, as like Stoner Kong, right? Like Donkey Bong. That's what he should be called. And I'm like, it makes me sad that they chose Chris Pratt because everyone else in that seems like they'll be really funny.
Yeah, someone was joking. It's like we bullied a studio to change it to animated before we can do it again with the Sonic stuff.
Yeah. Also, I more than a little love the idea of Charlie Day as Luigi. I don't quite have a crush on Charlie Day, but I don't not have a crush on Charlie Day.
I have no strong opinions about Charlie Day.
That's okay.
But I'm so annoyed about the Chris Pratt casting.
I'm super annoyed about the Chris Pratt casting. Like, seriously, guys.
I think we as a society have clearly evolved past Chris Pratt.
The worst Chris?
Hands down the worst Chris.
Is Chris Pine still okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. And Chris Evan.
Chris Evan is a little bit on thin ice with his current like both sides project for me.
Yeah.
So right now my rankings are Chris Pine, Hems, Evans, and then way down is Pratt.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Hemsworth just seems like a very chill dude. He just like does his movies, hangs with his wife, hangs with his kids, like.
Yeah. No, he seems very chill. I think he might actually be my favorite Chris.
Mm.
Part of that might also be that I'm a real big sucker for like a full shaggy beard, and he rocks that a lot. You can tell that that Next Generation had an impact on me at a very young age because I have a real big thing about facial hair. Thank you, Jonathan Frakes. Kelsey says we probably need a new Chris or two, and I think that is accurate.
I agree. Yeah.
Now to pull up. I am 2 days behind on this Gnome make. So I have to pull up like 3 different PDFs now to do anything.
Yeah, speaking of Marvel, I'm really hoping that Hawkeye series is the last we see of Renner as Hawkeye.
I do really like the idea of Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, though.
Yeah, I do like the Kate Bishop, and I'm really hoping it's a passing of the baton because I do not like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. I think that that's where we're going, and that makes me happy.
I do very much love Tom Hiddleston still. If we're talking about like OG MCU people, I still do very much enjoy Tom Hiddleston.
As you know, I'm extremely far behind on the Marvel movie stuff, but I would watch more things with Loki because I really do like Hiddleston, except why doesn't Loki ever wash his hair? Now, I'm obviously a hair person. I judge people's attractiveness very much based on their hair, and I'm like, you have all this time for these hijinks, but you never washed your hair. Like, why?
I would say you could probably watch the Loki series. Like they do because they do recap like what you need to know from Endgame.
Does he ever wash his hair though?
You know, I can't remember.
Give me one scene where he's like really dressed up and makes an effort, okay?
I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no. I'm sorry.
Then I just have to go like watch, see pictures of Tom Hiddleston on the red carpet then and be like, oh, it could have been so much better.
Have you watched Wallander? This was like in his very early days as an actor.
Watched what?
Wallander. It's a British-Swedish mystery series. It has Kenneth Branagh.
Oh yeah, I watched one episode and I found it incredibly depressing.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and Tom Hiddleston is so young. His hair is so curly.
Yes.
That's funny.
I'm just like, I miss the curls. Like that was such a distinct look.
I don't get it. It's like, and Loki is supposed to be like attractive and seductive and playful and all that. I'm like, I've read enough romance novels. I know there should be a shower scene. Come on.
I don't see Loki as like I don't see him as supposed to be seductive. I see like the way I see him, he's like slightly feral.
Yeah, I kind of see him more as slightly feral.
I think fandom has him be seductive, but like
I think that's read into it. That's not.
Yeah, like for me, like Loki, maybe in the first movie he's a little bit more seductive, but like as you go on, he's like holding it together, like sometimes not failing to hold it together by like his fingertips.
Yeah.
And like I would say the most mentally together Loki is, aside from the first one, is Thor Ragnarok.
Which I hated.
Oh.
Maybe I should rewatch it.
Wait, what?
I know. I'm weird.
But Chris Hemsworth knows Hulk from work.
It was funny once in the trailer, okay?
Fair. Okay, fine.
People keep talking about it though, and I'm like, maybe I should revisit the movie. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it or something at the time.
I think it's tonally, well, it's definitely tonally different than the other Thor movies. That's for sure.
Yeah. Like the first Thor movie is very like, and not surprised considering Kenneth Branagh directed it, but the first movie very much leans into like the Shakespearean family dynamics of it, and then the second, what?
Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor movie? I didn't know this, and that's a choice.
The first phase of the MCU, I think, had like some of the more interesting directing choices because you had Kenneth Branagh, you had Joe Johnston do Captain America: The First Avenger, which is why it feels like very retro, I think, because he knew how to do those aesthetics from The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor movie, which is why, for me, I like part of the reason I like it, because he just had his own style to it.
Yeah.
The second Thor movie didn't know what it wanted to be. It is a mess.
And that's about time that I stopped watching, because I remember trying to watch that and being like,
and it was
But
bad.
I like the first Thor movie, but it probably says a lot that my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie is the first Iron Man. I've seen it like 6 times.
I think that's a lot of people, though.
I haven't watched that one in a while. And that's partially because I don't like Tony Stark that much.
Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't like Iron Man as much, except for that Robert Downey Jr. just does a really good job at being him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, so, and I think part of the reason I liked Ragnarok is Taika Waititi like had a vision for what the movie was and executed it, and it felt like tonally more cohesive than Thor 2 did, which, like I said, was a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should go see if the library has it.
Black Widow is finally on streaming, and I did watch it in the theaters, but I'm wondering if I want to rewatch it, because like I don't like Scarlett Johansson that much, but Florence Pugh as Yelena was very good.
I mean, Florence Pugh is always good. I don't think I've seen her in something that I didn't like her in.
I will say that one thing Black Widow did very well was like capturing the dynamics between sisters, where like one minute you like actually want to kill them, but then the next minute you're like, no, like if you touch them, I'll kill you.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I think that that's a good one to go for. A good tone.
Oh, yeah. She's like, no, I will not give you cuddles.
Why not? We started Spooktober in August.
Like you do.
Well, we had a Friday the 13th baby. We had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't been watching like much in the way of stuff that isn't like dark, scary, spooky horror stuff. We did watch Luca.
Oh.
Which is cute. Not quite, definitely not on my list of like favorite Pixar, but they're cute.
Oh, speaking of one thing I did watch that I forgot to did anyone here watch Lula Rich?
No. Was it interesting?
It's very much the type of like true crimey thing that I enjoy in it, like in that it's like white collar scam stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I do agree with some of the critiques that have been made about the movie or about the series, like how it doesn't really talk about the manufacturing at all, and how that was a big component of what was going on, was like their manufacturing choices and who was making the leggings and all their junk.
Sure.
And also, I think they could have done a little bit of better job. One of the people who they were interviewing was in Lula. She was like one of the first people to join and was in it, I think, at least through 2020. Like someone found that she had taken out a PPP loan.
Okay.
And like she doesn't reveal what her like how big her bonuses were, and doesn't like really take culpability for the harm she might have caused others.
Right.
And so there's like not a whole lot of pushback about that, but like overall, I found it very interesting.
I think that would be very interesting. It's been on my list of things to watch, and I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I enjoyed it. And I would say, like, if you do watch it, one of the people interviewed, Roberta Blevins, she has a podcast called Life After MLM. And she's been doing like a companion series called Lula Bitch, where she interviews not only people who were in the documentary, but also other people who were selling LuLaRoe. And so And yeah, it's very interesting.
I do have a tendency to fall down those rabbit holes. So like watching like have you seen Illuminati?
No.
Okay. It's a channel on YouTube where she breaks down like sketchy MLM stuff, and like it's basically like true crime but white collar stuff, and like covered up abuses at like schools and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she had one about LuLaRoe that I thought was interesting, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, so I did enjoy LuLaRich. I also started, because of that, listening to the Dream podcast.
Okay.
So there's only 2 seasons of that, but the first season is about MLMs.
Mm-hmm.
Because the host, Jean Marie, she's from Michigan, so like the home of Amway.
Yeah.
And then the second season is about the wellness industry.
Oh, yeah. The well.
Oh, sorry. Mom was just texting me asking me if I was watching the WNBA game. Which I might do after this. I just need to set up ESPN on my new PlayStation.
Nice. What's on everybody's, currently reading list? We already talked about coming up. So like your TBRs.
I am hoping to finally read Aetherbound by E.K. Johnston. I think that's going to be my next one after Velvet Was the Night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also I think I'm going to try and read all the Astounding Award nominees, even A Deadly Education, which shouldn't be on the list, or not the Astounding, the Lodestar.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm very behind on Hugo reading, I just want to like read one full category.
I've done basically no Hugo reading, and I'm feeling kind of guilty for it now.
I actually did this past month read The Unspoken Name because Larkwood's up for the Astounding.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoyed this one. I definitely plan on pre-ordering book 2.
Oh,
Nice.
It's like, so the main character and one thing I like about this is the author helpfully put in a pronunciation guide of everyone.
oh, that's nice.
More books need pronunciation guides.
Yeah, so Storway, she is an orc, and like I haven't seen a main character in epic fantasy like her before. So she's an orc. She is very straightforward. She doesn't do magic, and she's still trying to figure herself out.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the world building because it's like different worlds that are connected by like Stargate like portals.
Okay.
Like this is the map where you can kind of see.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So, like it's definitely not like I do have like some pacing world build like quibbles, but overall I really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it. And like I said, I'm very much looking forward to book 2. I will say for the huge part of this book, I was like, Sorway and Tal need to stop fighting because they like work together under their boss. I'm like, they need to stop fighting each other and unionize against their boss. Worker solidarity, come on now.
Yeah.
I was so surprised when I had read all of the novels that are up for the Hugo. Like, what a relief, to be honest. Because last year was not a good reading year.
I think the only one I've read is Black Sun. Oh no, I read Network Effect. I've read Black Sun and Network Effect. Those are the only 2.
I think I've read all of them or tried all of them. And that's probably my problem with motivation is like I've read the stuff from the big category and I'm not heavily invested in the others. I do really want to read Cemetery Boys, though. That's the only one from Lodestar that I really want to get to, and I keep forgetting.
I read it for the 24-hour trans readathon, and it was like minor quibbles because of the use of certain YA genre conventions with regards to the dead mom. Mm-hmm. However, beautiful. Like, I loved it so much. It's a book I wish I had in high school. Like, I think it would have meant so much for me to have available.
Yeah.
I'm actually almost done with the novellas. I do need to read the Shauna McGuire one.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is that?
Oh God.
Oh, Come Tumbling Down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the other one with Jack and Jill. I always forget that I've read it because I don't love Jack and Jill.
I don't love Jack and Jill either. The Wayward Children ones are sometimes hit or miss for me. Like, when I love them, I really love them. And when I don't, it's like,
Yeah.
So I haven't read that, but novella's going to be a hard category for, like, aside from Upright Woman Wanted, which I did not like. But that one's going to be hard because, like, I really loved Ring Shot. I really loved Riot Baby. I know there are others, and I'm completely blanking on them.
I think Empress of Salt and Fortune is one.
Yeah. Empress of Salt and Fortune. I like out of the 6, I've read 4 of them and really enjoyed them. I read one of them and did not like it because it was very much a just vibes type of book in an unfortunate way.
Just vibes? Which one was that?
Upright Woman Wanted. Like, she was very much going for, like, certain vibes with the story, but, like, when you tried, for me at least, when I tried to think about the world building, it just completely fell apart.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah. I didn't get far enough into it to even get to that. I just, like, read the first chapter and was like, nope.
I listened to it on audiobook while I was doing errands. So, yeah, that's how I consumed it. But, yeah, it's just, I have so many issues with the world building choices in that book.
Yeah, the one I really want to make sure I get caught up on is the Lodestar.
Yeah, that one I've only, I've only read Cemetery Boys, I think. I need to read Ray Bear. I need to read Legendborn. Oh, no, I did read A Lot's Away, which I did.
Yes. Lot's Away.
I'm going to read A Deadly Education, but I'm voting that below no award because it should not be on the ballot. What else is that?
Wizard's Guide is on there too, right?
That's the other one. Thank you. I keep forgetting about that one.
I really enjoyed it, but at this moment, A Lot's Away is my pick. But this is also why I want to read Cemetery Boys. It's like I feel like that's the only other one on the list that I'm like that could edge it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for me to rank between. I think Cemetery Boys might rank higher just because, like, I loved that story so much. Which is, like, not to ding A Lot's Away. Like, I did very much enjoy A Lot's Away, but, like, Cemetery Boys, it spoke to me a little bit more.
That's fair. I really liked A Lot's Away. I think the thing that I liked most about it was just, aside from the fact that I thought it was fun and a good read, like, I can't get over just, like, the feeling of realizing, like, oh my God, all the adults in her life believe her.
Yeah, I did.
Like,
that was great.
I did really like that. And I liked the fact that her parents were very present in her life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was so refreshing.
And not shoved into a romance with her best friend.
Oh, I was so happy about that. I liked that there wasn't even really a discussion. They were just like, we're besties. Like, that's the end of it.
Yes.
It's almost like people with different gender identities can be friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
I've pre-ordered her next book. I hope it's just as good.
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering that.
I didn't realize Darcy
I'm
Little
really hoping my moms don't end up watching this, but I'm planning on getting a copy of A Lot's Away for them for their Christmas book.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. I didn't realize Darcy Little Badge already had a new book announced.
Yep, A Snake Falls to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It comes out at the end of October, I think.
I think November, actually.
Oh, did
Early
it get pushed up to November? Yeah, the date keeps creeping out. I'm like, please let it come out before the end of the year. I have it pre-ordered. Gimme.
I'm waiting until I get paid to do my next round of pre-orders.
Fair.
Yeah, I was trying to hold off because I was doing really well at not buying books for like 2 months, and then I felt really sorry for myself in September, and I was just like, we're gonna pre-order all the things.
That happens.
Yep, I felt like it was completely valid.
Yeah, so for my October pre-order, so I'm only for October, I have 2 pre-orders. So one is Sarah Kuhn's new book, Haunted Heroine. No, Hollywood Heroine.
Okay.
Because I love that series a whole lot, and I'm very excited to see what happens with Aveda and Evie going to Hollywood. And Little Thieves by Margaret Owens, I've been hearing really good things about, and I enjoyed the little preview comic that she put up. So it's a Goose Girl retelling with the main character being the maid who steals the identity of the princess.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very interested because I read Thorn, which is another Goose Girl retelling by Intisar Kanani earlier this year, and I really loved it. But I'm very interested to see like this new interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, apparently there's heists in it, so I'm always down for a good heist.
I have on my list the new Zoraida Cordova is the next thing that I think I want to read. But I also, so I have been downloading all of the knitting patterns because I've been like home and alone and weak. And so I've downloaded all of the Granny Weatherwax socks patterns. And so then I got all of the Tiffany Aching books on audio to do while I knit those. Because I was like, this will make my heart feel good.
Yes. Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is coming out. Oh, I'm looking forward to the bind up of Neon Yang's Tenseret novellas.
Yeah.
I do plan on getting my own copy of that just because I do want to reread them, and I had been holding off buying them until a bind up showed up.
Which was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Cordova and the Moreno Garcia are the ones that have been on my list. And then, of course, Pratchett reread.
I feel like we should do like a buddy read or something of the Zoraida Cordova book. I have it on audio.
I'm super into that. Mine is on audio too, so we could do like a knit and listen along.
Yes.
I have the print copy.
Do you want to read with us?
I would.
Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Does it have spooky vibes? Maybe it's a good October read.
I've heard it's more like practical magic than spooky.
Oh, but Practical Magic is like my only favorite Halloween movie. That's good.
I mean, who doesn't love practical magic? In fairness.
I may not have memorized my pattern correctly, and now my little envelope is a little bit wonky. Oh well.
And that'll be good because I test knit the new Caitlin Hunter, and I'm literally just like about to work on the sleeves, and then I'm actually officially done with it. And then I want to do a nice, comfy, cozy, like Christmassy sweater, maybe. Or
like that green one that you showed me.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. Yeah.
So that'll be good to have something to do some sweater knitting too.
Mm-hmm. I need to get back to my Augustine's one, that green one that I was making.
I'm so excited to see that on you.
It's so cool. I love knitting with it. I love knitting with mohair. I'm turning into that person. But I split for the sleeves. This was my sitting in hospital waiting rooms project this past month. And I finally tried it on and I realized there's something about the design I don't like, which is that it has those really, really deep armholes. And I
Oh,
put it on and I was like, oh my God, the armhole goes like all the way down to like almost my bottom ribs. It's huge, but it's meant to be that way. I kept thinking, oh, have I done this incorrectly? But I was looking at pictures and like, no, no. And if you do the math with the gauge, but
yeah,
I do not like super baggy underarms on sleeves, especially with like raglan style sleeves. I don't like it.
yeah.
So, but you have to have all those stitches for the sleeves because they're these big poofy sleeves. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I might experiment. Like I'm gonna rip it back, and then when I do the sleeves, I might try to increase at the sleeve cap basically to
Yeah,
get that poof back. But I might have to like cut out like I don't know how many stitches.
I was gonna say,
I've been thinking about this for a while. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like if I want to take off like 2, 3, 4 inches of the depth of the armhole. I don't
yeah,
know.
you're gonna have to rip back to where you like it.
Yeah. Ripping back is the easy part. It's figuring out like
The math of the other stuff.
yeah, I feel like I shouldn't rip it back until I've got a plan for like how many sleeve stitches and then how I'm gonna do the increases after that.
Yeah, you might want to, instead of doing them all at the top, do like half of them at the top and the other half spread even.
Yeah. Yeah. If I did cluster them at the top of the sleeve cap, it would give more of that puff sleeve look, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I
but I
think.
could see it being like too much volume up here so
Mm,
that it doesn't drape nice for the rest of the arm.
this is true. I should probably ask Rhea because they're like the garment expert too.
Yeah, they
Anyway, well, do we want to wind down? I feel
Yeah,
like
I think
we've been an hour
yeah,
now.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to get a little bit of a fusser here on the side. So
Okay.
yeah. Why don't we go through and say what we're going to be doing the next month and where people can find us? Rachel, you want to start?
Okay. Well, as usual, you can find me on my channel, Colonati. Whenever I get back to making videos, I've got my usual stuff. I've got a book haul I need to film. I have a massive wrap up from the Magical Readathon because I've been reading so much, and I've got more anticipated releases coming up as well. So whenever I can sit down and film them, because they're going to be very long videos. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Good. Di?
You can find me at Bookish Die most everywhere. I have a book haul filmed. I just need to finish making the thumbnail and writing the description. And then I'll have my wrap up and potentially a couple of tags. I'm still kind of figuring and putting together a new bookshelf, but that one is going to take a while to edit.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cat cameos in that one because
I'm sure.
Good.
both feline overlords were like, what are you doing? And at one point while I was finished making the shelves, Leia jumped into the unshelved bookshelf and was like, I must do my inspection and make sure everything is in order.
I love it. I love it. And then you can find me here at Bree Reads Books, and then I'm Bree Reads Books basically everywhere on the internet. And I've been thinking about vlogging my reread of the Tiffany Aching books, and then like showing the knitting updates as I do my Granny Weatherwax socks. I think that would be fun. So if that's something that interests people, and then I have been planning for quite a while to do a Cuphead costume for my partner. For those of you who know what Cuphead is, it's a retro styled game. So I might film some of that and share that, but that is going to take me a while. So maybe follow me on Instagram instead and I'll put some updates there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time on, I think, Rachel, is it your channel?
I think so. Yeah. On my channel, and it'll probably be near Halloween, so we'll have to think of something.
We'll definitely make sure all the black hats make appearances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Till next time, guys.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.